Hello, and welcome aboard WhalePod to another episode of Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I'm your Commander Whale, and in today's episode we are going to be progressing and doing the quote-quote side missions that are needed to stabilize the colony here at Zhu's Hope before we head off toward the Exogeny building. But before we do any of that, we do have some things to show off gear-related wise. More of in the performance department than anything, because I've been actually formulating some pretty decent weapon builds. Like here on the sniper rifle, we have probably the heaviest duty fire you'll probably ever see. In a very impressive 3 shots, we are overheating this sniper rifle. So, with that said, sniper rifle, we are using some pretty interesting mods on it, and that is how fast it overheats even with Frictionless Materials 8 mod installed, giving it extra heat damping. It doesn't help, though, that we do have a scram rail increasing its heat, well, decreasing its heat absorption a little bit, but just making it hit as absolutely hard as possible. The real deal here, giving us insane heat generation, is High Explosive Rounds 8, which essentially makes each of our projectiles here little miniaturized grenades that we are shooting at sniper rifle distances, as it adds a 400 centimeter or 4 meter blast radius, so 8 meter blast diameter, but it has plus 500% heat generation, so each round generates 6 times the base amount of heat. But it does also offer plus 500% weapons force, meaning your shots are going to be able to knock enemies over, sort of like you were using a biotic throw on them. And of course, just plus 20% damage across that 4 meter radius. That also includes the additional weapons force. And how am I getting all this, these ideas? Well, we are now getting a little assistance in this playthrough, or not in this playthrough, but in this series, and how I'm planning out where to go, when to do certain missions in the series, by means of a second playthrough that I'm doing off camera with the male Commander Shepard, sort of scouting ahead, planning out routes of where we want to go and when we want to go, and also doing things like testing the waters for seeing how high our difficulties are. And I do think for now we're going to keep things on normal just to keep things going smoothly for the camera. But some of these builds are ones I've transferred over from my male Commander Shepard, who is using a different class from our Fem Shep here, who we are currently in the Vanguard class, which is half combat, half biotics. Our male Commander Shepard is the Sentinel, the same class as the Whiny Caden, whereas we are the same class as the mighty Krogan Warlord Rex. Also, some other builds brought over is we have our pistol, which is probably our main mid-range weapon, because as a Vanguard we still do get pistol training. The pistol is set up with some incendiary rounds, which will give it a damage over time effect. Let's just go ahead and overheat it here. You can get about 20 to 25, maybe about 30 shots of active fire out of this thing before it overheats. And we are using Inferno rounds for 15 damage per second for 5 seconds, and the target suffers a 20% accuracy penalty while they are burning. Here we're using a kinetic coil for extra weapon stability and extra damage. And seeing as this is going to be one of our main weapons, a combat scanner will allow us to see through radar jamming when enemies are nearby, as long as our detection is, well, high enough level. Enemies will get a better disruption as they level up and as the game progresses, so you will need to change out your combat scanner regularly in order to keep up with the proverbial arms race. Alright, we did not mean to unequip that. So we will put on a combat scanner and re-accept that. Now, our main bread and butter, close quarters, shoot him in the face. We have the shotgun. Gets 9 shots of continuous fire before overheat. And the shotgun is equipped with sledgehammer rounds, which trades off a little bit extra overheating on each round. Each round will do 1.2 times the base amount of heat build up in the weapon at exchange for plus 40% weapons force, giving it the ability to knock back or knock over lighter enemies with lower physics thresholds, and also toxic damage, which will induce radiation sickness in its targets and prevent enemy regeneration. I do believe the radiation sickness is going to slow down their cooldowns as well, even if it's not specified there. In addition to that, we have frictionless materials to counter the extra heat of the sledgehammer rounds and give us extra damage. And as this is our other main weapon, we do have a rank 7 combat scanner here as well. Hate it. I hate it when you choose don't transfer. It still just swaps, but doesn't transfer instead of canceling the swap. And now for the last weapon in our Shepherd's arsenal. We have an assault rifle that never overheats. I can fire this thing for minutes straight and it will never build up any heat whatsoever. So, how do I get this amazing feat of absolutely zero heat buildup on this assault rifle? Well, if you also notice, we do have a scram rail here, giving us extra heat less heat absorption, so extra heat buildup. In fact, we have 1.1 times normal heat buildup. So why does it seem like our weapon is not heating up at all? Well, it's certainly not the kinetic coil. We know what that does, is extra damage, extra weapon stability. It is the snowblind rounds. The snowblind rounds do 20% more damage, but have a minus 40% to their rate of fire. This rate of fire decrease is actually critical, as the extra spacing between shots allows the weapon to cool down almost completely before firing off the next round. I could slot this into a pistol, it'll never build up heat. I could slot this into a shotgun, it would never build up heat, and I could slot this into a sniper rifle, and while it would probably still build up a little heat, it would never build up enough to overload with how slow most sniper rifle rate of fires can be in Mass Effect 1. Other variants of the snowblind rounds, like the cryo rounds, do not have this rate of fire decrease, and as such will not work for this because they fire too quickly and will actually build up heat. Also, targets will suffer the same accuracy penalty when chilled by snowblind or cryo rounds as they do by a similarly leveled Inferno rounds mod. So, with that gone over, yeah, this thing can literally fire forever and never overheat. My male Shepherd has a similar build, albeit with higher level weapons and mods. But I spent a good 5 minutes just shooting that thing into one of the walls of the council chambers on the Citadel, and it never built up more than that one little bar of heat that keeps popping up down there in the bottom left corner of the screen as we fire off rounds, and never actually, builds up any heat. Now, with that explanation of my builds out of the way, let's get our side quests. We'll talk to Davin in a little bit, but I want to start from the back here and work forward, starting with Maka Doyle.
I'm sorry, but I can't stop to talk. I have to deal with the water shortage.
Is there anything I can do?
The utilities building was one of the first to fall under geth control. Find the mains and turn them back on. Until then, this colony is dry.
I have a ship fueled and ready to go. I could bring water in.
Unless you plan to make a trip every few days, that wouldn't really solve our problem. We need to be self-sufficient.
I have to go.
I wish you luck.
And we now have our water supply here.
Nice work with those geth. Glad you showed up. I still need the power cells for this generator, though. If I find anything while I'm looking around, I'll send it your way. Thank you, Commander. I appreciate it.
Wasn't gonna even bother asking if we could just give her our ship's power cells, because that seems like a really stupid thing to do. Hey, Davin.
You're the one who repelled that last. They'll be back. And if the geth don't kill us, we'll die of hunger soon enough.
Are you doing anything to remedy the situation?
I need to boost rations with Varen meat, but it's too dangerous. The Alpha Varen, he's huge and he's mad. Rabid maybe. Totally uncontrollable. I can't do anything until he's dead.
I have a ship. I could bring in supplies from off-world.
I'd rather you concentrated on the geth. Food won't help us if they breach our defenses.
Tell me about hunting Varen.
Hunting them is impossible while fending off the geth. On the positive side, they'll attack anything, even those damn synthetics. The big Alpha Varen is the real problem. He's mad, erratic, completely unpredictable.
I have to go.
So long, Commander.
So, looks like we have to go put down one big fish dog so we can go after other little fish dogs. Oh yeah, you guys probably don't know what the whole fish dog is going at here, so we're going to mark all entries viewed. Go to the codex, go to non-sapients.
Varen are omnivores with a preference for living prey. Originally native to the Krogan homeworld of Tuchanka, they are, like most life from Tuchanka, savage, clannish, and consummate survivors. They are pack hunters when vulnerable prey is readily available, and become scavengers when outnumbered or outclassed. Their supreme adaptability, vicious demeanor, and rapid breeding cycle have made them ubiquitous and dangerous pests on many worlds. Virtually everywhere the Krogan have been, Varen infestations have followed, wreaking havoc with the native ecology. The Krogan have had a love-hate relationship with Varen for millennia, alternately fighting them for territory and embracing them as treasured companions. To this day, Krogan raise them as beasts of war. One of the common subgenus of Varen has metallic silver scales, leading to the rather unusual nickname, fish dogs.
And thanks to Codex Man, you now understand the fish dog moniker of the Varen. They are life forms native to Rex's homeworld of Tuchanka. Or I don't know if Rex specifically was born on Tuchanka. I think he was. But, well, Tuchanka is the Krogan homeworld. Also, these guys are acting kind of sus around here, so, we're gonna get out of here and to solve their problems so things can get back to not sussy normal. Also, this being able to sprint while Shepard doesn't have a weapon drawn is actually new to Mass Effect Legendary Edition. It was not around in the original release of the trilogy. As was one other thing two other things I recently learned about. One of those other things I didn't even realize existed in Mass Effect 1 in the first place. In Mass Effect 1, there were three major differences with the Mako. One I've already talked about, that being the Mako was even clunkier and even springier in its suspension than it is now in Legendary Edition. Another was that defeating enemies with the Mako rewarded fewer experience points than defeating them on foot. And the third was the Mako did not have the boosters. You had the jump, but not the boost. Now, into the depths.
Oh god, they're everywhere!
Boom! Take that, you tin cans. You a second-rate knockoff Cylons. Oh yeah, there's one other thing I want to do before we go much further. One thing that my male Shepard has been testing out that I actually do want to put into place here is under gameplay. I'm actually going to switch from level scaling from classic mode to legendary mode. What legendary mode does is, as it explains down there, in classic mode, the original 1 to 60 level range will be used instead of the new 1 to 30 level range. Experience and talent points progression remains the same, but the number of levels is doubled. So what that means is, in what we've been playing now, There's just twice as many level ups, but each level up rewards you with half as many skill points as legendary mode. So you end up with the same number of skill points spread around. But I've been liking legendary mode. You don't level up as often, but when you do, you can actually do more, well, leveling up. It feels a bit more rewarding, because it doesn't feel like they're giving you levels every other fight just because there's that many to go up. I will say it is impossible to hit a level 30 in a single playthrough, as enemies do not respawn, and the amount of experience needed to go from level 29 to 30 is nearly the same amount of experience as it takes to go from level 1 to level 29. It takes 460 something thousand experience to get to level 29. This is total cumulative. So as you keep accruing and leveling up, you don't go back to 0 gained with X needed till the next level. It works like a more traditional RPG where you see your total experience and the experience out of the experience the total experience needed to get to the next level. And in order to get from level 29 to 30, you need 860,000 experience. So it's a whole 400,000 experience for the last level, when it is 460,000, maybe 500,000 total experience by the time you clear everything, for a full playthrough doing all side missions, exploring every uncharted world, and hunting down every single enemy on every single map. And who knows, we skipped out on a lot of fighting on Noveria by sneaking into the labs where Benezia was, rather than taking the more overt, blasting our way through the security forces, a method like my male shepherd did. Now that we are on legendary mode, we are now level 24 instead of level 48, and we will cap at 30 instead of 60. Now, let's re-up our barrier because we have permanent uptime on that. And let's blast some more tin cans. Boom, one down. Yeah, those
This valve looks like part of a large system.
those explosive rounds are kind of fun. It reminds me of my first couple playthroughs of Mass Effect,
Looks like it's on yet.
where I was only using the soldier layout. This quest down here will help us with the geth problem. Oh man, both those guys got taken out by just the explosion, not even the direct hit. Pop up our barrier. Break out our shoddy. Let's warp him. Okay, yeah, that was a lot easier than with the other Commander Shepard. I'm playing on hardcore difficulty on the other playthrough, and let's just say, it's kind of hardcore. The scariest part of the higher difficulties is definitely stuff like Rachni, that has shield bypassing weaponry. Or, stuff like Krogan and Geth destroyers that charge you down and beat you down in melee range. As on higher difficulties, they charge immediately at the start rather than waiting until they're more on their last legs to rush you down. Oh, let's add to that list of things that are incredibly dangerous on higher difficulties. Varen. These suckers are a nightmare on hardcore. I can't even imagine insanity. There's the biggin. Let's break out the bottomless assault rifle here, if we even need it. The Varen falls dead, riddled with slugs. This must be the alpha male, the pack leader of these feral scavengers. Sludge canister. Firestorm 8 and heavy armor Krogan mercenary 8. I don't think we're gonna use that on Rex. We have a level 10 heavy armor Krogan on him already. Or rank 10. Some good stuff in there. Oh yeah, I finally figured out how grenades work. You don't really need them on lower difficulties, but on the higher ones, they really do come in handy. Yeah, that takes care of that. Water's running.
I think we're in business. The water system's back online.
Let's start beating some guys down as well. And as a bonus Easter egg down here, we have an insane person.
You don't want to go down there.
What are you doing down here?
Nothing I should be, and anything I shouldn't. No! That was a good one. Very intense.
What's the matter with you?
Just invoking the Master's whip helps remind me I'm still alive. You're here for the geth, aren't you? You're not the only one interested in those things.
Who else is looking for the geth?
Not looking for, looking to get rid of. They're a thorn in the side of the... Ah! Ah! Trying to get to the... Dying!
He's lost it. We should just leave him be.
Is there anything I can do to help you? Do you even want help?
Help me? No. No one can help me now. I'd rather die fighting!
Fighting what?
Not that kind of fight. It's like running through a thorn bush. The more you struggle, time's up. Company's coming. Ask Fidan. Ask him about the... Ah!
Look out.
More tin cans. Let's send him to the recycling center with a few swift beatdowns to the side of the head. Oh, yeah, that's one thing. We're going to be seeing more sniper rifles and assault rifles out of me, because one other thing that's different in Legendary Edition from the original is there is no longer any sort of penalty for using weaponry you are not proficient with. Get down and stay down. I said stay down. I said stay down. Now you stay down. If you can't tell, I'm kind of farming melee kills for the for a trophy for getting 100 melee kills across the trilogy. It becomes a lot easier with a new mechanic we get later in the trilogy. But those things have been menacing me for too long in the other playthrough, so I'm gonna let loose. Also, you might see my shepherd's mental state deteriorate and do a few more renegade things once we're maxed out on Paragon points. Or even before we're maxed out on Paragon points, because there's more than enough to get 100%. Even if you do a few renegade actions like sell data to the shadow broker, or shoot a stuck-up corporate executive who's trying to sell you out to the enemy in the face. But before we head on and do any of the, or may not do any of the fun stuff I may or may not have just mentioned, let's go turn in our side quests and to fleece these poor people for all the money they're worth.
Hello again, Commander.
I killed the big Baron. The rest are yours.
Excellent. I'll organize a hunt when the immediate threat of the geth is gone.
I have to go.
Here, for your trouble. It's not much, I know, but it's all we can spare.
A little bit of Paragon there. That gets us closer to capping out on that, so we're free to do whatever we want, whenever we want.
Nice work with those geth. Glad you showed up. I still need the power cells for this generator, though. I found these power cells in the tunnels. Are they what you're looking for? I knew they'd turn up eventually. Here, Fidan gave me some requisition money. It's all yours. Now, if I can kick these power cells into place, I'll have this colony up and running in no time.
Just as a reminder, since that wasn't really on its own, that was what we salvaged from that completely overturned vehicle where the Alpha Varen was.
The water started running not long ago. Thanks to you, I assume. Now we just need to deal with the geth and we can get back to growing this colony. Here, a few credits for your trouble.
After having done this multiple times since my first playthrough, I am embarrassed to say that I had to look up where to find those things in my first playthrough. There's nothing for us in here right now, but I'm pretty sure there will be something once we've resolved the troubles at the Exogeny headquarters. Or at least I think there's something there anyway. It might be something that we don't get because we've already done that side mission. But there's a codex entry and some free experience for us. We're not quite ready to end the episode. We are going to go a little farther. I was going to also say that my experience on hardcore difficulty has left me, well, a lot bolder. You're going to be seeing a lot fewer pitched firefights and more of me kicking butt and taking names. And we don't have the elevator banter because this is a decaying Prothean ruin and not a civilized station. Oh yeah, with the whole no penalties for using untrained weaponry. That is, that's another thing about Legendary Edition, is one of those penalties in the original for using untrained weaponry was, well, ridiculously bad sniper rifle accuracy. I may have mentioned before that the sniper rifle targeting array would just completely wave all over the place. Die, you stupid robot giraffe. I'm not even bothering to dodge on this difficulty. You don't even really need to.
Still no fix.
Any sign of movement? Lisbeth could still be in there. It's only been a few days.
And now we're picking up some mysterious radio signal.
I'll wait as long as I have to.
Hey, giraffe. Time to die. If you've seen any episodes of my Pokemon Scarlet, or not any episodes, but one specific episode, you'll know I'm not a fan of giraffes anymore after playing that game. So, anything that resembles a giraffe, like those geth armatures, has no chance in heck of making it out of this playthrough alive. There's a flashlight head hiding in here. I think... it doesn't matter. We're playing on normal. We can just rush in there, biotic barrier up, and absolutely kick the crap out of these tin cans. Yeah, one shot by it. This is a little bit of a treasury underneath the skyway here, or a bit of a supply stop that the geth either stored down here or found down here and claimed for themselves. I nearly missed it on the other playthrough because, well, I was in the tank. The tank really zooms out your camera. And I did not realize until I noticed there were still some red triangles on the map that that was an open door rather than a sealed, immovable one.
We've got movement. Some kind of vehicle, not one of the geth.
Oh yeah,
Commander.
that bit of rubble down there with the old Mako physics woulda that would have had you roll the tank, and if you were lucky, completely roll it, and if not, you'd get stuck on your back like a turtle and have to reload your last save. So yeah, I am really grateful for the improvement to the Mako physics.
That's close enough.
Relax, Jong. They're obviously not geth.
Get back, Juliana. Who are you? What do you want?
Commander Shepard, I'm here to remove your geth problem.
You see? You worry too much.
And you trust too easily, Juliana.
I'm just glad to see a friendly face. I thought we were the only humans left on this planet.
Phi Dan and some of the members of Zeus Hope are still alive.
I thought you said they were all dead.
I said they were probably all dead.
They're still alive, but the geth hit them pretty hard.
We know what that's like. Those damn synthetics are relentless.
I'll do whatever I can to keep them away from you, but I need some information.
What kind of information?
Ignore him. The geth are up in the Exogeny headquarters, just a bit further along the Skyway.
Those headquarters are private property, soldier. Remove the geth and nothing else.
I'm not interested in your company's secrets.
Commander, before you go, my daughter, Lisbeth, she's missing.
They shouldn't waste time poking around. We could do a proper accounting of our casualties after the geth are gone.
That's my daughter you're talking about. She's still alive. I know it.
Where's your daughter, Juliana?
She was working in the Exogeny building when the attacks came.
Oh, yeah, there were several places she could hide. For a short time.
If she's in there, I'll get her out.
Thank you, Commander. Thank you.
Do you know what the geth are after?
I have no idea. We certainly haven't found anything of use. Something Exogeny is keen to remind us of.
We need to recoup our expenses. It's nothing personal.
How did you get split up from the Zeus Hope colony?
Most of us live closer to the Exogeny building. Zeus Hope was mostly used as a port. When the geth hit, we scattered. Until you told us about the others, we assumed they were killed in the first wave. If we had known they were still alive, we might have attempted to join them.
They're fairly secure now. Maybe you should do that.
No. I don't think that's a good idea. We have no vehicles, and the Skyway offers little protection.
Like the building we're in now?
Listen, our best hope is to sit tight and wait for company reinforcements. They'll come eventually.
Tell me about the colony.
We established ourselves here 4 years ago. Growth was steady until the attacks. Our biggest challenge has been the lack of resources. There's just so little here of value. Still, we were making a go of it. It was even starting to feel like home.
What brought you here?
I guess I thought this would be the start of a new life. I wanted to go where I could feel like I was making a difference. Instead, everything we built is destroyed. It's very hard not to lose hope.
Where's your daughter, Juliana?
Somewhere at the Exogeny headquarters, I hope.
What was the building used for?
Oh, yeah, we repurposed that structure to serve as headquarters for Exogeny. That's mostly offices with a number of light-duty R&D labs.
Exogeny is a master at repurposing anything and everything.
The company has to make a profit somehow, Juliana. Feros is a long way from self-sufficient.
Stay bunkered down until I find out what the geth are after.
Of course. And please remember, if you see my daughter...
Oh, that was a bald-faced lie to Jong there. Because we are definitely interested in the company secrets. We're just gonna talk to Hostel here, though.
I was hoping you'd have a moment to speak with me. I've got a bit of a problem.
What do you need?
I need to retrieve some data. It's not a big job, but it pays well.
Sounds easy enough. What's the catch?
No catch, really. It's dangerous work, but not for someone like you. Well, that's very comforting. Certain death for some, fine for us.
It's not that bad, really. All you need to do is find my console at ExoGeni headquarters and drop the data onto this OSD. It's that simple.
I'll look around if I get the chance.
I appreciate it. That data could be worth a lot of money. Of course, this all depends on getting out of here alive.
Why work in the middle of nowhere if your skills are so useful?
Maybe I've got a bit of the frontier spirit in me. That, and the alternative is a bit too secure for my liking. Freelancers don't have to worry about security as much, so long as we keep a low profile.
Tell me about the data I'm getting for you.
Plans for a few prototype mods? I'm a freelancer. Some of my mods are highly sought after.
Time to get moving.
Just keep in mind what I said.
So yeah, we are going to be grabbing the plans for these mods and giving them to him instead of giving them to paranoid Jiang here. Jiang is one of is a very interesting character in Mass Effect not because he's actually interesting, but because he has what is the probably most difficult speech check to pass in the entirety of Mass Effect 1, except for maybe one on the very final mission. In fact, so difficult enough that the 10 what are they? Charm points that my male shepherd had when landing on Feros was not enough to pass it. It either takes 11 or 12 in order to convince Jiang that he's being a turd.
Skyway's crawling with geth. Package is secure. We're leaving now.
There's another geth who's just looking to get smacked in the face down here. Die. Get down. And stay down. You see, you can never do that on a hardcore difficulty. It would take you like 20 hits to get something down meleeing it, particularly as a sentinel where you don't get assault training. You know, I am the same class as Rex right now, thus I'm doing my best to be an honorary Krogan.
Shut down the comm. We've got incoming geth. Damn it! Shut down the comm.
Are these guys all in a tunnel? Yep. You're first. I guess you're both first. Come on, let me punch this thing. I wanted to punch through that little barrier thing there. It's ruined for me now. You're in a difficult situation, Mr. Chrome Toaster there. So if nothing else, that grenade got his attention. Oh, wait. Was there any container we could grab down here? Nope. Oh, what a waste. And on normal difficulty, our tank is perfectly capable of face tanking those hits, no problem. Only one man would give me the raspberry. Lone Star.
Looks like the geth is settling in nicely.
What are they up to? There's no point to this unless they're looking for something.
Hey, Hoppy boy. Yeah, that's right. I can't drive through here, but I can still shoot through here. Now it's time to go on foot. Get the rock trooper. Ah, the fall damage killed him.
No way to burn through this shield with the weapons we have. We'll have to find another way in.
Okay, Captain Obvious. Or should we say Caden Obvious? It does not look like there's any containers over there. But there is a giraffe you have to fight on foot in here. Let's go ahead and warp it. Whole heck of a lot easier than when we encountered one of those on Therum looking for a Dr. Tassoni. We're gonna bring out the shotgun because I'm smelling some Varen up ahead.
Looks like the geth are settling in nicely.
Damn it! I'm so sorry. I thought you were Geth, or one of those Varen.
You're safe now. But why were you here in the first place?
It's my own fault. Everyone else was running, and I stayed to back up data. Next thing I knew, the Geth ship latched on, and the power went out. I was trapped. I tried to get out, but the way was blocked.
We'll get you out as soon as we find out what the Geth are after.
It's not the Geth, it's the energy field they put up. They don't want anyone else getting access to the...
I'm here for the Geth. It's very important that I find out what they're after.
I don't know for certain, but I'm guessing they're here for the Thorian.
What's a Thorian?
It's an indigenous life form. Exogeny was studying it.
What else can you tell me? Do you know where I can find this Thorian?
I might be able to, but not with those Geth crawling around everywhere. Look, we need to get out of here, past that field.
Do you know how we can shut it down?
No, not exactly. But I think the Geth ship is powering it. I've noticed the Geth laying power cables everywhere. You could follow those cables, but there's Geth all over the place.
Tell me about yourself.
I'm just a research assistant for Exogeny. I came here with my mother. I don't even know if she made it out alive.
She's with some others from the colony. She's safe for now.
She's alive? Oh, thank God. I thought I was the only one left. Please, Commander, just get that field down so I can see my mother again.
Tell me what you know about the Thorian.
I really don't know that much about it. I think it's some kind of plant being. I know it's very old. Thousands of years even.
Why do you think the Geth would be interested in the Thorian?
It's just a plant. I don't know why the Geth would care. Exogeny was studying it, but I don't think they found anything special.
You stay put. I'll go open some doors.
Oh, here, take my ID. This should get you past any locked doors. Good luck with that field.
And the Thorian is why we're probably going to be making Feros 2 episodes for the mission. Unlike Novaria, which was 1 for getting settled and 1 for the mission, this will likely be 2 for getting settled and 2 for the mission. Not only are these Varen a lot wimpier on normal, but there's like half as many as there were on hardcore. But I will say one thing about the Thorian. The Thorian has a lot of ads in its boss fight.
Stupid machine. Access encrypted file. No,
And they are ridiculously powerful on higher difficulties.
I am unable to comply. Please contact your supervisor.
Damn it! Tell me what I want or I'll blast your virtual ass into actual dust!
Please contact your supervisor for a level 4 security exemption, or make an appointment with...
Stupid machine!
If there is nothing else, please step aside. There is a queue forming behind you for the use of this console.
And that is one ex-Krogan commander.
Corporation reminds all staff that the discharging of weapons while on company property is strictly forbidden. Welcome back, Research Assistant Elizabeth Baden. What can I do for you?
How do you know I'm Lisbeth?
Your access card identifies you as Elizabeth Baden. Is there something you require, Dr. Baden?
What information was the last user attempting to access?
Fetching data. The previous user was attempting to access details on the study of subject species 37, the Thorian.
Finally, that glitch cuts out.
Tell me everything you told the Krogan.
I was unable to provide the previous user with any relevant data. Aside from lacking proper access, there has been no new data available on species 37. All sensors monitoring the observation post at Zoo's Hope have been inactive for several cycles.
What does Zoo's Hope have to do with the Thorian?
Species 37 is located within the substructure of the Zoo's Hope outpost.
Tell me everything you know about the Thorian.
The Thorian is a simple plant life form that exhibits a sentient behavior uncommon with other flora. Through dispersion and the eventual inhalation of spores, it can affect and control other organisms, including humans. The Zoo's Hope control group has yielded interesting results. Before sensors went offline, almost 85% of all test subjects were infected.
Are you saying Exogeny knew its people were getting infected?
It was deemed necessary to assess the true potential of species 37.
That's why they were acting so strange.
We should contact Joker.
Joker! Come in, Joker! Damn it! That field's blocking us.
We've got to drop that shield and get back to the outpost.
VI, what can you tell me about the geth ship and the field it's generating?
I have limited data on the geth. They have effectively blocked all sensors within the facility. I have detected unusual power fluctuations, but am unable to determine the source.
We need to find that ship. Let's get moving.
Going to standby mode.
Alright. So now we know what Saren's after. He's after a plant that can mind control people. So now all that's left is to make sure he doesn't get his devil's lettuce. Getting more of those melee kills racked up.
Looks like they're using these claws to anchor that ship to the side of the building.
The geth certainly aren't subtle. How do we cut the power if it's coming from the ship?
We need a way to give it a kick. Let's check the other claws. Damn things can't be perfect.
And yeah, they can't be perfect, Rex, because then it would be impossible for us to, you know, win this fight here. So let's just take these few bits of Omnigel or credits waiting to be sold or broken down. And go trash some more tin cans. You're getting punched. Now that that's over with. One more Krogan to deal with. no more Krogan to deal with. Liberal use of metagel is advisable on any difficulty setting. And we have Hostle's design data for him. Some decent weapons. Rosenkov Materials is probably the best arms manufacturer in the game as far as their weapons having the highest stats at any sort of level rank, except for, of course, the Spectre gear. We will be able to get rank 10 Spectre gear later, so my Commander Shepard here is going to hold off for buying some very expensive Spectre weaponry later on. But for the others, Rosenkov gear can be very helpful in a pinch. Or just very helpful in general. Rosenkov, like I said, is the best that credits can buy. Well, at least for the non-Spectres among us. And technically, you can put Spectre gear on party members other than Shepard. And a one-shot kill there. Exogeny terminal average decryption. Confidential, the test samples were due to arrive 3 days ago, but we haven't heard anything from the colony or the cargo vessel. We suspect the samples became volatile and recommend cutting off all further contact with the Notacrux colony. Even if the colony is discovered, no one should be able to trace the events there back to us. That's going to be another Uncharted Worlds side mission. That geth terminal there, if you had hacked it before doing the geth incursions, Uncharted Worlds mission out in the
Same as before. We don't have the ordnance to blow this claw. Let's keep looking.
Out in the Armstrong cluster, there would be a terminal in here to give you data about the incursion. You can, of course, discover it the way I did by simply exploring the Armstrong cluster. We're gonna go ahead and throw the destroyer.
Containment lab.
It's no armory, but tear up even one claw and that ship is gone.
There's another exogeny server node around here we can decrypt. I don't trust this Cerberus group. They may pay us well, but if this gets out before we've developed an antidote, it's just not smart. They won't tell us what they want the samples for or why they wanted them delivered to the Metano system. My records show nothing of interest out there. This is going to be another one. It's going to end up being in the same star cluster as the first exogeny terminal we decrypted. You find a repair ticket attached to the console. The damn door to the shuttle bay is fried again. Works fine if the PSA is 30 or lower, or PSI or lower, and the safety shutoff kicks in if the PSI gets above a 34. But if the PSI is in the 31 to 34 zone, the door slams down with enough force to shear through a metal I-beam. Somebody fix this before one of my team loses an arm in that thing. So, we have to get it right into the pressure range, 31 to 34, with the numbers 17, 11, 13, 7, and 5. The correct answer here is to go 17 PSI, 11 PSI. That's at 28. That'll throw us one over. That gets us into the warning high pressure. And that one anchorage point was apparently critical, because now the entire geth ship is sliding off the building. down it goes to join the
All right. The door out will be open now. We can head back and deal with the
meters
storage.
of debris cloaking ground level.
Well, that got the job done.
This was my kind of mission. Kill a bunch of geth and end things off with a huge crash.
I repeat, Normandy to shore party. Are you reading? Anyone there? Normandy to shore party. Come on, Commander. Talk to me.
Is that you, Joker? What's going on over there?
We're in lockdown here, Commander. Something happened to the colonists. They're banging on the hull, trying to claw their way inside the ship. They're freaking out.
They can't do any real damage. We're on our way back. Just hold your position.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll just wait right here for you, Commander.
This place will be crawling with geth in a minute. Keep together and we'll get out of here in one piece.
That's a lie. The geth aren't coming back. They don't want to get brutally beaten by a girl again. We will take our sweet time looting this crate, though. Now, time to sprint our way on out of here. Yeah, I went to this this mission immediately after getting Dr. Tassoni with my male shepherd, just so I could get a little bit of a groundwork worked up for how I wanted to run it on this playthrough here. So we were naturally lower level, lower charm and intimidate scores. Well, actually same intimidate score, just 1.
We should get out of here. I don't think this place is safe.
I need some answers. You knew more about the Thorian than you let on.
I was afraid. I wanted to stop the tests, but they threatened me. Told me I'd be next. When the geth attacked, I stayed behind to send a message to Colonial Affairs. I tried to tell them where to find the Thorian, but the power cut before I could send the message. I never meant for this to happen.
You did what you could. I'll help them if you can tell me where to find the Thorian.
The Thorian is underneath Zoo's Hope, but the entrance is blocked. The colonists covered it with the freighter just before the geth attacked.
But why are the geth after the Thorian? What could Saren want with it?
Well, it does have unique mind control capabilities. That's what Exogeny was interested in.
Normandy to shore party. Come in.
What is it, Joker?
We're getting a lot of geth comm chatter. Looks like they're headed your way.
Thanks for the heads up, Joker. You heard the man. Let's move out.
I'm coming with you. I might be able to help. Undo the mess I helped create.
And we will move out in the next episode. I thank you all for watching Whale Pod. Do remember to smack those like and subscribe buttons if you have not done so already, with a highly explosive shotgun blast to each of them. And as always, comments are welcome down below. Now, that said and done, Whale Pod, I hope you all are having fantastic days. Make sure to stay cool, stay classy, and most importantly, stay healthy. But until next time, which will be longer than usual because I did forget to throw this in at the beginning of the episode, so I will throw it in here in the outro. I'm going to be gone for the next upcoming week. This episode will be uploading on Friday, December 30th, and at the time you're seeing it, I will be, at the time of release, I will be leaving the next day in order to head up to Seattle for a week in order to help my aunt and some other family members sort out my grandma's estate. Unfortunately, my grandma did pass away this past Monday, December 26, 2022. She went peacefully in her sleep at roughly 7 a.m. Pacific time at home, and she was ready to go. My grandpa passed 7 years prior, and it was well past time for her to join him. Her quality of life had deteriorated so much since COVID began and all the lockdowns went into effect. Prior to that, she was able to keep active through activities such as water aerobics, but once all that shut down, she just went downhill fast. And with that, it really was a blessing for her to to be released from her pain, just have her go in her sleep peacefully. And while I'm gonna miss my grandma, and while it's been tough these past couple days, and is going to be tough for this next week or so, going through all the memories stored in that house, it's something that I just have to do. So, when you are seeing the next episode, that will mean that I am back. I am not going to be uploading anything while I am gone. So until then, once again, do stay cool, classy, and healthy, Whale Pod. But until I return, this is Commander Whale, signing off.